Good evening and welcome to our Wednesday 9 p.m. Central Standard Time live broadcast. If you're catching this on the rebroadcast, welcome to you as well. We always appreciate you guys stopping by for our recorded version of these broadcasts. They go up immediately on Facebook and YouTube. Tonight's topic is about garbage in and garbage out. And we are going to take that little concept and apply it to the community here and kind of walk through some of the rationale we use with what we do with our body and some of the decisions that we make in our life. And I'm going to offer some suggestions about some really easy things you can do and steps you can take to change what it is you're doing if you're not happy with either how you're looking, feeling, or the way that you're living your life. Welcome if you're catching this either on the rebroadcast or live. My name is Diane, and I am a certified nutrition coach who helps women find nutrition plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. And here in this community, we have been doing that through the practice of intermittent fasting and establishing a keto-like lifestyle for ourselves. I have been in this industry for a very, very long time. And when I'm coaching women, which is 99% of the clientele that I've worked with, it's never really being off on a calorie count or not really understanding how to manage macros, and it's not even really managing the intensity of a workout program to achieve a certain result that we're looking for. Oftentimes, what keeps people from being successful is what goes on in here, and a belief system, or maybe even a way of creating dialogue in our own head that allows us an opportunity to jump out of something. And we talked about this a little bit on Monday night when we talked about why endurance is so rare. And it really does spoil over into this title as well, with garbage in, garbage out. And we often don't correlate that very simple statement to how it is that we're living our life and some decisions that we're making. And we can kind of excuse a lot of things away and forget how simple that concept really is. If you think bad things about yourself, then you will act in bad ways. If you put bad food in your body will feel in bad ways. If you surround yourself by negativity, then negativity will be a major part of what it is that you have going on in your life. And oftentimes, it's just a very simple decision that you have to make, that enough is just simply enough, and that you don't want to have that garbage out sort of a result with what it is you're doing in your life. And if you make the decision that enough is enough and you don't want that garbage out feeling anymore, then you have to make the decision to not allow garbage in. And oftentimes, that has to be in every aspect of your life. It has to be in the nutritional aspect of your life, because that's where it all starts. If we make decisions that the end result is going to make us feel bad, then what usually happens is we feel like we look bad. And then if we convince ourselves that we are looking bad, then we generally make bad decisions because we're feeling horrible about ourselves. And then when we make decisions that keep us on that path of feeling bummed out or horrible about ourselves, then we let bad people in, or people in who may not appreciate us. And it ends up being this huge snowball effect of letting garbage in, and the end result is you end up with garbage. And if you're done with that, just make the decision that you're going to start with taking care of you. And it starts with making sure that what you put in you is no longer garbage, and that what you're putting in you is going to allow you to have that opportunity to feel your best. And if you feel your best, then you look at yourself with different eyes, and you look at yourself in eyes that are appreciative of all the great features that you have. And when you step into your day feeling good about how you feel physically, and how you look, how you're seeing yourself, then you are less likely to put yourself into opportunities where you're going to allow bad things to happen to you. And yes, there are those things that definitely are out of our control. But more often than not, and again, I'm only speaking from the experience that I've had over almost 30 years now of being in this industry, that a lot of women especially we put ourselves in these victim type situations, or these situations where we're just allowing these bad things to happen, and we don't take the time to realize that a lot of times it happens because we're allowing the bad things to come in, and then that end result is bad just comes out of it. And it's easy. Just make a decision. And yes, the process of making the decision and putting things in place, that's the part that's very difficult for some people to do, because it does take consistency, and it does mean that consistently you have to put your foot down, and you just have to say no to things that are not going to be the best for you. But the decision part's really easy. You just decide. And you decide that moment that things are going to change for you, and you're not going to allow garbage to come in anymore, because you are tired of the end result of that, which is just sitting in a pile of garbage. And so just make the decision. And when you make that decision, the decision becomes effective that moment. You don't wait until the first of the month. You don't wait till someone offers to invite you to some new exercise group. You don't wait until the next Monday. You decide that very moment. And there's some power in making a decision effective ASAP. When you make a decision about something that you want to change in your life from the bad to the good, and you do that immediately, you are taking action. And when you take action and you go into something with your passion and your enthusiasm for it, and I'm just absolutely tired with everything else that's going on in my life, and I'm not going to allow it to happen anymore type of attitude, every chemical in your body responds to that and begins to change. And that really does start the process of that output that we are used to having, that's bringing us down or keeping us in that failure type of situation, or having us talk down about ourselves, or just being down about ourselves in general, will immediately start to change, and you'll start to regain some optimism and some energy and some positive feelings about yourself, because you took action. And that is the primary thing that we have to do. That's the thing that we really need to focus on when we're unhappy with something, is just make a decision and take immediate action. And then every action that you are going to take will be fueled by all those new chemical changes that are happening in your body. And before you know it, you are no longer dealing with the bad stuff coming in and the end result of that being bad. And you'll start to feel some wins for yourself. And that first win is just going to be proof to you that the decision that you made was the right one for you. Now, is life going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Life is not perfect, and I don't think we would ever want it to be perfect. We want to make sure that when things don't go according to your plan after you've made that decision, is that you just take that as an opportunity to learn from something, and you just gently move yourself out of that path and right back onto the path of which you know you want to be headed toward. We have to realize that when we allow bad in, and bad, it doesn't have to be like life-threatening or completely life-altering. Bad can just be that every single morning you're waking up wondering why it is you feel a certain way, and it's not a certain way that you want to feel. That's bad, and that's bad enough for you to take charge and make some changes. And the decision-making process really will start what it is you're going to embark on as far as your journey of researching, experimenting, trial and error, accountability, and just knowing that when you get to that point where the garbage out is kind of, hit its high level with you, and you don't want to accept that anymore, that you really do need to just find an alternate path. And there's so many alternate paths out there today. There's no reason why any person today should really feel like every day is just a bummer day for them. Like, there's so many things that we can do to really incorporate good and really incorporate some positive things. And sometimes it does take a little bit of soul searching, but I can tell you at the end of all of that, there is good. And when you put good in, good comes out. And it really is just a matter of just switching cycles and switching your thought process and making the decision and immediately putting it into action. Very few people, like I said in the beginning, fail with what they're doing with their health journey, or fail with what they're doing with their life goals, or fail with what they're doing with trying to get through school, or maybe even a new job, because of those particular circumstances. It usually has to come back to something that we have done that has not allowed us the opportunity to take full advantage of those things. And like I said, it generally starts here. Very rarely is it a miscalculation of calories, or a miscalculation of macros, or even the type of workout program that you're doing. Every type of workout program will work if you do it. Every type of nutritional change will have some sort of effect on your body if you practice it. And it's what we decide to do about it and think about it up here is really where we should put the credit of success or failure in something. And oftentimes, failure really only means that we quit. There's success in something and there's quitting in something. And when you quit something, that's really the only time that we've surrendered to failure. And if we start something and we keep going through the process of it and tweaking it along, and we just decide that we're not going to quit and we're going to keep searching for the way, and we're going to keep searching for that thing that's going to finally stick with us, or that thing that's going to finally make us excited to see it through, that is the ultimate definition of being truly successful and being able to live your life most authentically. So figure out what it is if you're struggling. Figure out what it is if you're feeling like you can't stick to something. Figure out what it is if you're feeling like everything in your life is the result of some garbage coming out. And then reverse engineer some of the things that you do in your day. Reverse engineer some of the things that are going on in your thought process. Reverse engineer some of the habits that you have. And see if you can break it down to some specific things that you can simply make a decision on, and then immediately implement some changes. And then follow that through with, again, just journaling things through and making sure that everything that's going on in here is going to lead you to that next step of success and then ultimate victory with whatever it is that you're battling with. And I don't say this or share any of this lightheartedly. I talk here a lot about some of my own struggles in life that I have, and the fact that I am just generally can be a very negative person, and I can find excuses for why I haven't been successful in a lot of things. And I reverse engineer those processes myself all the time. And what I end up coming up with is that it was me that got in my own way and rationalized reasons why whatever it was that I was doing wasn't good for me. When the reality was I wasn't making it good enough to just be. And so I challenge you, if you're struggling with something, to go through this little process of reverse engineering what it is you're doing in your day and see if you can find little avenues of opportunity to create change, and create change in a positive way so that you can get through that hump and get through the next step and really start to see some success. Nutrition today is something that should be very simple for all of us, because we should be really relating whatever it is we're doing to our bodies nutritionally in a way that comes back to how we want to look and feel. And if you are repeatedly doing things that make you look and feel less than amazing to you, we don't care about what other people think. All we care about is us. If you're repeatedly doing things in your nutritional life that are making you look and feel less than absolutely amazing to yourself, you have to start there, because that is where the rest of your day will go. That's where the rest of your energy will go. That's where the rest of your thought process will go. If you feel bad starting your day, and you feel bad throughout your day, and you feel bad when you go to bed at night, I guarantee you it has something to do that you're putting in your body that is taking away the opportunity for you to feel your best. And when you don't feel your best, all those other decisions, like I said, end up being that garbage out end result. And it's a really easy fix. Just do the work to pay attention to your body and realize when you're doing something that doesn't make you feel amazing, you have to make the changes there. Get your energy back, get your positivity back, and then get those feelings that you have about yourself back to that positive side, so that you can just take charge and go after everything that it is that you want to have in your life. I wanted to have this conversation with you guys today because I do get a lot of emails from people. I do get a lot of private messages from women about what it is that they're struggling with their nutrition, and ultimately, the steps that go through the messaging and the emails that I get end up leading to what it is that they're struggling with in their life. And so, with my experience and with the messages I get from so many women, I do urge you to find what it is that's slowing you down and making you feel off, and see if you can switch some things nutritionally and get yourself back into that energized sense of calm and that feeling of self-confidence, so that you can really make sure that you are in control of the end result of every day that you have this amazing opportunity to live. We do a lot of this in the course that I teach, and I know I talk about that a lot here, but we do a whole week on the social and emotional aspect of what we're doing here. I mean, intermittent fasting is pretty simple. You just pick a period of time in your day and you and you clean fast. You don't give yourself an opportunity to have an insulin response. That's as basic as it is. And then you choose a window in your day where you feast, and you find those foods that when you put them in your body chemically, they cause a reaction that does make you feel and look amazing. That's the gist of what we do with intermittent fasting. It's the social and emotional part of living a lifestyle like this that's out of the norm for so many people, sadly, because we are so conditioned to just be unconscious about what it is we do in our nutritional life, that really does weigh on us, and it weighs on our on how we feel about ourselves. It makes us feel self-conscious a lot of times in the social setting. I know I have felt that way myself, and we really do have to make sure that we do the work in the beginning with making sure that we are feeling energized and that we feel confident, so that when those social and emotional situations come up, or simply life happens to us and it throws us a curveball, and we were heading down this road of amazingness in our life, and then something happens and it throws us off track, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, and eventually physically. It's hard to get back on track. I know I've been in that situation myself as well. So we do have to make sure that we work on the social and emotional part of what it is that we're trying to do in our fitness, nutrition, and overall wellness as well, so that when life happens, we can get ourselves back on track, and we can get ourselves right back on the path that we were heading down before life happened to us. So if you're struggling at all, I do hope that this kind of topic really does help you realize that it is a very simple process. I know heading into it and when you're face on with it, it doesn't seem simple, but really all you have to do is sit down and have a heart to heart, gut check conversation with yourself, and just make some decisions and say enough is enough, and then immediately implement some change in your life, so that the very next day you'll start to look and feel like the choices that you made were the right ones for you. So I'm going to go in and welcome everyone and answer any questions or comments that we have today. And Michael, I'm going to use that because I did Facebook first on Monday, so I'll do YouTube first today, and I'm going to do it off my iPad again, so I can read it from here and I don't have to be so close up in y'all's face. Let's see who we've got here. Sammy, I just had this identical conversation with a friend. I was explaining why I have been able to change my life. Well, that's fantastic. And, just like anything else in life, when we can sit down and explain what we're doing to someone else, it really does prove the passion that we have for what we're doing. And it proves how much we understand what it is that we're doing. So anytime you have an opportunity to share what it is that you're doing with someone else that's positive and has a great effect on your own life, congratulations. You just also gave someone else the opportunity to go home and think about those things and have an opportunity to make some changes for themselves as well. So Simi, congratulations on that. Of course, they were saying they agreed, but I challenged their actions. But you're so right. I'm spiraling upward because I took action. Yeah, fantastic, Simi. And a lot of times people won't tell you in their face that they've made the changes from the suggestions. I get that a lot too, where it's like 3 months down the road, someone will come back and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I totally have been following you," and they haven't said anything to me, and then they ended up having some really amazing results, and that's okay too. Those are those little gifts that we plant in the world, and we know that they're seeding. And then someone will come back and thank you for what it is that you were so willing and wholeheartedly, just selfless in giving to them. So don't worry, Simi, I promise you that they listened to what you said and they're probably implementing some of the things that you suggested. Let's see. I am so determined now. I'm not going backwards. I'm going to keep trying everything until I get better. Yeah, there you go, Simi. And reach out anytime you need help. That's for sure. Christy, hi, Diane, in the F3 group. Great advice. Awesome. So glad that you're in the F3 group with us as well, Christy. Taught anytime I've been coaching women with their health and fitness is not everyone can do me, and I don't know if I would want everyone to do me. And not the same way about you. You should really try to figure out what it is that makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you feel your absolute best. We're all so uniquely created that you really can't mimic what someone else is doing. You can get ideas from them and you can try some things, but always know that the best way to be you is to just be you. And once you start living your life authentically, it is a very freeing and happy place to be. That's for sure. Let's see. Angela, great message, Diane. I'm going to start again tomorrow with positive self-talk. Today went south, but I'm not giving up. Angela, I would highly recommend you have a great talk with yourself tonight, before you go to bed. Maybe list out some things that you're really grateful for tonight before you go to bed, and just put them by your bedside, and get that thought process already rolling in your brain so you sleep on it, and just cleanse whatever it is that went south on you today by just purging it all away, and purposely putting positive things in your head. And I guarantee you tomorrow morning you're going to wake up feeling amazing. So make the decision, which it sounds like you already did, and then start it immediately, which means tonight. Amy, greetings from Utah. Tomorrow's my 51st birthday, and I'm planning to sign up for the July course as a gift to myself. Well, happy birthday and congratulations. That is an amazing gift that you can give yourself. And we're super excited to have you join us in the July course, Amy. So thanks for doing that for yourself. Let's see what else. Amy, I think I got that one. Angela, okay, got everybody on YouTube. Let me see what we got over here with my friends who've joined us on Facebook. And thanks so much for being so understanding of the time changes that we've done with these live broadcasts and changing them back to 9 p.m. for the summertime. Thanks for being willing to jump on. I know for some of you it's really late at night, and for others of you it's super early in the morning, and I always appreciate that you guys are willing to give us your time. So thank you for that. And then as well for my re-broadcast people too, who I know jump on as soon as we're done.
Here, you read from there.
I'll read it from here. Janet, good evening. Jeanette, hello, girlfriend. Natalie, good evening from California. Brandy, nice to have you with us. Susan, how do you change the mindset, the negativity about our body? What you're saying is so true. Love it. I think the best way, Susan, to change your mindset is just what I always say is fake it till you make it. So when I back in the day when I was super negative about myself. I had a lot of negative garbage in my life because I was allowing garbage in. So I was living in that garbage because it was coming out the other side. And so what I did is I would fake it till I made it. And you have to write down positive things about yourself. You have to talk to yourself in a positive way. You have to purposely do it. I would put sticky notes on the mirror. I would put sticky notes in my closet. Put little reminders on your phone to say something nice about yourself. Put extra effort into you. So maybe, curl your hair one day, or, try a different lipstick. Do purposeful things that make you feel confident in your own skin while you're going through that initial transition. And then what you'll find is that eventually you just think that way. So thinking positively and thinking negatively are both habits. And you have to create those habits. No woman was born thinking negative about themselves. Something happened along the way to make that happen to us, or we allowed those things to happen to us, and sometimes we were out of control of that situation. So you have to just gain the control back and then train yourself to be positive. And that's why I read a lot of self-help books. That's why I listen to a lot of personal development podcasts. I always like to keep positivity in my brain. And so you have to force feed it in the beginning until it becomes natural for you. So hopefully that helps, Susan. Hey, Yvonne, girlfriend, I haven't seen you on here in a while. It's always nice to have you back. Joy, really need this talk tonight. Awesome, Joy. Joy, you're really good at making sure that you keep yourself in a great place. So, but I'm glad you're here with us. Claire from the UK, I haven't seen you for a while. Always nice to have you back. Robin, is there a transcript of these videos? No, we don't transcript these, but they're always available for you to go back and re-listen to. So definitely feel free to catch this on the recording on my Facebook page and or YouTube. And I know a lot of women listen to these in their car on the way to work and stuff like that. So definitely feel free to re-listen as many times as you need to. Janet, hello. Yvonne, consistency is very key. Thanks for reminding us of that. Jillian, working on my body image is so emotional, but I'm getting more positive. Yeah, for sure. And it's not always perfect. Again, remember, like I said, some days you're going to be more inclined to be positive than other days. And so when I kind of naturally lean into that, where I start to feel like I'm going into a negative place, then I really seek out positive things. Maybe it's I read my Jesus Calling book, or I'll I'll purposely, fill my day with podcasts and I'll just have them on around the house, or I'll dive hard into one of the books that I'm reading, or go back to something that really pulled me out of a tough place in the past and revisit that as well, or call a girlfriend who is super positive, and see if maybe they can give you a pep talk too. So the biggest thing is just seeking things out and don't settle with sitting in it, and that just takes some activity and some experience with getting yourself out of negative places before. So hopefully that helps us too, Jillian. Okay, nice to see you here. Susan, good to have you. Linda, good evening in the F3 course and still learning lots. Awesome. Rebecca from Clovis, good to have you here. Michelle, hey girlfriend. Do you have a book recommendations, self-help that you were referring to? Susan, we do a lesson on that in the course that I teach, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course. And we talk about it a little bit in my Passion Planner group. And then Kara and I were just talking on our week. Kara and I have a weekly Tuesday conference call, and we're talking about putting a book list together. So we'll work on that over the next few weeks. And then for those of you who are interested in this kind of stuff specifically, starting in July on Instagram, and I'm doing it on Instagram just because I like to keep the subjects that I talk about kind of separate to where people kind of gravitate to. But on Instagram, we are going to be dissecting, Lisa just said maybe a book club. Fantastic, that's exactly where I'm heading. We are talking about we are going to be dissecting the book Grit, which I'm currently reading. And what I'm going to do is go on Instagram every day and discuss an aha moment or something that I thought was really good about something in a chapter that I read about grit and how it applies and how we can implement some things into our daily life. So make sure you're following me on Instagram, and make sure that you get. I was going to announce this this weekend, but make sure you get the book Grit ordered. And I highly recommend when you go through one of these kind of things where we're trying to pull out and actually learn and implement something from a book, I recommend either getting it on like an iPad, where you can maybe make notes, so like an iPad Pro with a pen or something like that, or some way that you can make notes in your reading, or get the actual hardcover book. And we're going to make notes and leave sticky notes and crossover pages and do all that kind of stuff, so we can use our books as resources and take away some things that we can actually implement. So we'll start that in July on Instagram, so make sure you're following me over there. And Kara posted my Instagram handle, I guess, do you call it an Instagram handle? Login or name or whatever, on both pages, so you guys can find me there as well. It's gonna be super fun. I love talking about positive ways of living and ways of really being positive with ourselves, so I'm super excited about it, and I think having a book as a resource is going to be fantastic for us. So we're going to actually we have the next 2 months picked already. We're going to do Grit in July, which I think is going to be awesome, and it's going to really help us a lot in this community. And then the August book that we're going to do is called Girl Wash Your Face. And so if you want to get set up for the next couple months, you can definitely do that. And you can reach out to us too if you guys want the exact links to the books. We can help you with that if you want that as well. So yes, if you are tired of feeling a certain way or looking a certain way or having results in your life always end up a certain way, then take some time to do some reflection on what it is that you're doing. And if you're not happy with something, then it's usually because we're allowing something to happen to us that's not getting us to that next level. So do an inventory, do a little reverse engineering of your day or your week or your month. What things have you done where the result hasn't ended up the way you wanted it to be? And do you have control over making different choices in those situations? Most of the time, we do. And Michael and I are going to talk a little bit more about our story too over probably on our IF Keto Life page, where we've done some pretty what do we call it? Who even does that? Like I was sharing with my friend some of the things that we've gone through in the last probably 4 or 5 years, and I was like, who even does those things? And he suggested I write a book about it and title the book, Who Even Does Those Things? So we're going to be talking about some things that Michael and I have done to get us out of some pretty bad situations that most people wouldn't even conceive of doing. But now that we're on the other end of those things, the end result for us was amazing. And we're sitting here today, two happily married people with really happy, successful kids in a really great situation in our life because we did what most people aren't willing to do to change the garbage outside of things. And so we'll be able to share some of those things with you guys as well, to give you some hope for some things if you're feeling like you're stuck or you're just not happy with how you're feeling. Elena, girlfriend, I haven't seen you in forever. Thanks for jumping on. Hopefully this is a better time for everybody. All my old friends I haven't seen for a while and a bunch of new people that are here. I appreciate you guys being here too. Christy, is that the author Angela Duckworth? Yes, that's the author for sure. And the book is called Grit. So we'll start that in July. So make sure you get your book. Make sure you get a good pen that you can write in your book. Make sure you have little sticky notes or whatever. And I think it's going to be super fun. I'm going to teach you guys how I read these kind of books and what reading these kind of books and reading them in this way has really done for me. Like I said, I share here a lot that I didn't have one of the most loving family units growing up, and I didn't, and we went through a lot of really crappy things, and I didn't have a whole lot of good as a young adult woman either. And it wasn't until I really started proactively making decisions for myself that I didn't allow things to come in anymore. That's when my life really started changing. And so I just live that way now. But it's taken a long time to get there, and it's taken a lot of books, and it's taken a lot of podcasts, and it's taken a lot of sticky notes on my mirrors, and a lot of positive self-talk, and Michael and I help each other all the time, and we try to make sure we keep our kids on the same kind of track, and we've just realized that it's a choice. So don't suffer when you can just really make a decision and put a little bit of work in to have the opportunity to change some things. So hopefully that helps as well. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go. It is Wednesday. For those of you who are interested in jumping in one of our life-changing courses, our Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course is really where the life starts to change. Our class for July starts on July 7th, so you'll be able to be in the class and do the Grit group with us on Instagram, which I think is going to be super fun. So make sure you get yourself registered. And Amy, congratulations that you're giving yourself an amazing gift for your birthday tomorrow. I'm super excited to have you in the course with us. And then my F3 students, keep chugging along. We're making some really good progress in that course as well. Friday's lesson will be about setting the goals that we have set up for the next couple of months, and then we're going to start to really get to work with putting those goals into place. So as always, I appreciate you guys being here. If you're new and you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, please make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're here, and the same for Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button so you'll know when we go live here on Facebook as well. Let me see if there's any last minute. I thought I saw some last minute comments come through, but I guess not. Awesome.
Tina Pratt.
Oh, Tina, thank you for this program. Oh, Tina, you're so welcome, girlfriend. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Amy, signing up tonight. Woo, awesome. Super excited for you. It's going to be super fun. And the course it can be very life-changing if you allow it to be. So come in with an open mind, come in with a lot of the things that we talk about here, and know that there have been thousands of women who've come before you if you're joining our July course, and they have really had some amazing things happen for them in their life, and it's not always directly connected back to what they ate in a day, but it starts there. It always starts with how we feel when we wake up, about how we're feeling about ourselves and how we're feeling about our day, and then everything in your life from that point on, when you start to make those good decisions where you're allowing good things to come in, I promise you good things will come out. And we really got to stop letting that garbage in so that we can control what it is that we want for ourselves in our life. And it all starts with what we put in our body and how we feel. So have a super amazing rest of your Wednesday night and Thursday. If you want to join us on Friday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I know I'm throwing a lot of dates and times at you guys, Michael and I will be discussing conscious carbs over on IF Keto Life Facebook page. So make sure that you are following us over there as well. We've been getting a lot of, it's weird, we get these like surges of common questions, and what are conscious carbs seems to be a surge in a common question we've been getting over the past couple of weeks, probably because of our vacation sharing we did in Mexico. I don't know. So we're going to define what we feel conscious carbs are, and really kind of go over what a keto-like lifestyle is again over on that page on Friday. So I hope you'll join us over there as well. Have a super fantastic night. I always love spending time with you guys, and I appreciate the time out of your life that you give to me. I know time's precious, and I always appreciate that you were so willing to spend time with me. So have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you guys on Friday or somewhere over this weekend.